I lied, man. I lied. I mean, but they can't, like, they won't let me not fucking talk about them. They won't. They just won't. First off, I had to debunk this because Adam Aaron's selling is not FUD. He is. He made it very clear, which is exactly what this thing is fucking saying. And the title actually says that he's selling his shares smart, which he is by letting us know what he's doing because he didn't have to tell us this at all. He could have just done this however he wanted. Doesn't have to report it. Doesn't have to tell us shit. But he has to diversify his assets, and he's turning over that shit to someone better suited to manage it for him. Um, so him
AMC's
selling is
future.
not
So I
FUD.
will do so under the basically precautions.
That is just. This is OSTV, supposed to be, young, smart kid, uh, you know, went to college for finance and whatever the case may be, but the word auspices is too big. That's too big of a word for you. These guys cannot speak English, man. Like, and they're supposed to be educated and intelligent, and they're supposed to be the ones, that do all this DD and want to teach you guys shit, but they can't read English. So how in the fucking hell are you supposed to trust that whatever they're reading anywhere, they actually understand what they're reading? Then that is my biggest cue to, if you're a teacher, if you're teaching anything, unless it's like sports or something, being coached, some sort of physical fucking activity, you should be, fairly well spoken. You should have, a huge vocabulary. You should speak proper. You should be able to enunciate and pronounce words properly. These guys just fucking trip over anything that looks like it was pulled from a dictionary. And he literally had to stop. He couldn't pronounce it and made up a meaning for it.
That I have anything but full confidence in AMC's future. So I will do so under the basically precautions of the
It's not the precautions. That's it's not what it's not what it means. Oh, oh, that's all right. That's okay. Oh my lord. Basically, another word for like guidance, essentially, um, but not precaution. That's not what auspices means. But yeah, I wanted to debunk that. That's all I was attempting to do, was the fact that Adam Aaron is selling. Some of his shares are going to be put into whatever his little asset fucking 10b51 plan, this shit right there, and it could happen towards the end of this year. So shares of Mary are probably most likely going to be sold on his end because they're at this high ass value. Of course, he's going to make sure he wants to get value out of them. I already told you, I think a lot. I think if we would have given him his shares, if we would have let him put more into the market, would have been a good idea. If we were able to snatch them up, it would have given us even more of the float, and it would have driven the price higher because there's actually more legitimate shares to buy and raise the price of a company. That's how a company's stock organically grows. The price grows by doing market offerings of shares, and then they get snatched up, and then the price goes higher because there's more shares to buy. Again, he should have did an at the market offering instead of being the business guy that he was being. Because if he was, keeping us in mind, that's what he would have done. It would have been an at the market offering, not a straight up sell to some other fucking person. And then they just get to dump him into the market and drive the price down with no warning, nothing. What? Either way, I don't even care if he did that. As long as he let us know. As long as he was like, "Hey, I'm about to have some shares dumped into the market, so don't freak out and be ready to snatch them up or whatever you want to do." I would have felt a lot better with him doing that. But yeah, he's gonna fucking try to make money off this. I really think that that was part of the reason this got held up like it did, because we didn't give him those fucking shares. I really do. I think it's crazy that it was like on the way to squeezing and doing its thing, and we had a shareholder meeting that was supposed to be taking place, and then all of a sudden he postponed it like 2 months. And those 2 months were fucking disgustingly brutal. They were brutal for the stock once he wasn't able to get his hands on any more shares to sell. Just disgustingly brutal. And now he's in a position to where he's going to be able to sell some shares and make some money. And, now the stock's acting normally again. Like, I don't understand how we don't have a verified number to know exactly how much of this that we own, know exactly what the fuck's going on. Um, it's crazy. It is. But I don't find it to be a coincidence that he comes out and tells us, hey, I'm going to be selling some shares, so don't freak out. And then literally that day, that following fucking day, is when we started like really kicking ass and moving again, and things really looked normal, and money was coming into this fucking thing. So that's a totally different theory, guys. Totally different theory, but still might hold some water. It still might even be a part of this whole thing. But anyway, Adam Aaron is selling shares, not him personally, but he's turning over a portion of his shit to someone else to manage, and they're going to sell shares. They're going to while this thing is high. Just why wouldn't you? But that's just something no one ever pieces together, no one talks about. Had we given him shares, the price of this would be higher. That's how you grow a company's value. You add more shares, the better the company's doing. You have to offer more shares because people want them. You're in high demand. So there was just so much uneducated shit going on in that time frame, man. Like, so much. But yeah, so here we go. Here's our second guy who's supposed to be college educated and is going to teach you about finance and shit. But, words like this are too complicated. And believe me, I'm not making fun of the kid because he can't weed, but it's, this is two that say they come from a higher educational background. This kid's supposed to be fresh out of college, and they're supposed to be giving you all this intellectual information that they're digging up because they're the nerds of the bunch. Motherfucker can't, I'm just saying, make up your mind. So, my bad for lying. I really didn't think I wasn't going to make it through the rest of the day without one of them doing something stupid again. But here it is. Mic drop.